Who doesn't like a good guilty pleasure? Those are usually things we enjoy, but they're not generally held in high regard. So the 5 movies I'll list and discuss today are worse than guilty pleasures. They're beautiful disasters, gorgeous evils, captivating turmoils, ambrosial diarrhea.
Okay, we get the point.
You suck, you jackass!
Thanks so much for clicking on this video and checking out what this jackass has to say. If this is your first time here, welcome. If it's not, well, I'm sorry. I'd be so grateful if you'd click that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with a friend or perhaps an enemy, someone you hate. All are welcome here. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my quick reviews on the short side of my channel, and give me a follow on one of these social media places. And let me know some terrible films that you love in the comments. The Room didn't make the cut. Yes, it's awfully awesome, but including that on this list kind of felt like a cop-out to me. So without further ado, here are 5 movies I simply love even though they're objectively f***ing awful. Number 5, The Wicker Man. 1973's Wicker Man, starring Edward Woodward and the great Christopher Lee, is a brilliant horror mystery that's simultaneously creepy and fascinating. It's an all-time classic, dare I say cult classic, and would never be anywhere near a list like this. No, I'm talking about the 2006 remake starring Nicolas Cage in one of the most ridiculous, over-the-top performances quite possibly ever. Subtlety's non-existent in this film, with its heavy-handed symbolism involving bees and neo-paganism and its ridiculously nonsensical plot. There's also this scene. Which, let's be honest, belongs on the Mount Rushmore of one of the funniest unintentional comedy scenes in movie history. 2006's Wicker Man has become a meme in recent years, and if I'm ever in a bad mood, I just put this on and let the ironic entertainment consume me.
No, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah!
Number 4, Mac and Me. Mac and Me is such a weird and blatant ripoff of the Spielberg classic E.T. that it's almost offensive. I can only imagine the pitch for the film went a little something like this. I want to remake E.T., but E.T. is a classic movie. Yes, but instead of telling a story, any story, let's put a shitload of product placement in it and add in a wheelchair-bound boy. This will make us filthy rich and sympathetic with parents. Mac and Me is unintentionally hilarious, bizarre, and audacious in its execution. The movie's so flawed, so bad, so weird, yet it's so funny and devoid of any heart that I can't help but love it. Number 3, Ice Pirates. If you haven't seen this 1984 sci-fi comedy in which water is the most valuable resource, well, you can't possibly fathom just how awesomely bad this movie is. This scene right here is all you need to know about the movie.
Box, B28. 28? Okay, here we go. 25, 26, 27, B28. Oh, no. What is it? Space Harpy.
From the tongue-in-cheek humor, campy execution of bizarre elements, awful sound mixing, oddly timed bits, audacious plot, and memorable lines, Ice Pirates has earned every bit of the cult following it's acquired over the years. From space herpes to time-warping sequences and robots with distinct personalities, Ice Pirates has an enduring charm, and the movie is hilarious. Even the one-liners that aren't funny are because of the way they're delivered. The film is so low budget that it's an unpretentious blast throughout its short runtime. I can all but guarantee that 30 years from now, this movie will probably be more of a cult classic than it already is. Number 2, Samurai Cop. So Samurai Cop is one of those movies that's so bad and so unintentionally funny that it would be impossible to replicate. The film's entertaining as in ways that were not intended by the filmmakers. But damn it if this movie isn't a masterpiece. Think The Room level of bad acting. The movie's general plot consists of an inconsistent storyline involving an LAPD officer battling a Japanese gang. The movie has a certain charm, which lies in its unintentional humor, with infamous wig mishaps of the lead actor to action scenes that could have only been choreographed by a 5-year-old. Samurai Cop is like a movie you'd put on in film school to discuss what a technically inept film looks like. It's almost hard to believe this movie wasn't a parody. Hell, it's almost hard to believe this movie was even made. One of my favorite fun facts about the film is that the lead actor, Matt Hannon, cut his hair after filming, not expecting reshoots. Well, reshoots eventually led to a callback, and he was forced to wear a poorly matched wig, and the wig almost becomes the MacGuffin plot device of the entire film. Unintended, of course. This movie gained such a cult following that eventually a sequel was made in 2015, but nothing, and I mean nothing, will be like experiencing this film for the first time. Number 1, Masters of the Universe. Masters of the Universe certainly isn't the worst movie on this list, but as sure as shit isn't a good movie by any stretch of the imagination. I wore my VCR out as a young lad in the early 90s watching this movie, and I didn't realize how truly awful it was until I got older and arguably wiser. With a young Dolph Lundgren turning in a wooden performance as He-Man, juxtaposed with Frank Langella's ridiculous, over-the-top performance as Skeletor, a great brand of comedy was created because of it. This movie's unintentionally hilarious. The film's production was notoriously troubled with a rushed and poorly funded process that led to an incomplete ending and hasty conclusion due to a ballooning budget. It also had an after-credit sequence setting up a sequel long before it was the Marvel trick of the week, and apparently there was a completely different, more elaborate ending, but the sets were disassembled before the film was finished, and therefore the filmmakers were forced to scrap it. The half-assed special effects, set designs, and costumes are humorously low quality, and it only adds to the lore of this film. Masters of the Universe was hampered by odd requirements from Mattel, where they mandated that He-Man couldn't kill any person, so it led to the villains being portrayed as robots. This movie is so bad, but it's so memorable that I have no issue throwing it on every once in a while. And after all these years, I still enjoy it. I guess nostalgia's a hell of a thing. And there's a fun fact, this movie was developing a sequel, but it eventually turned into the 1989 crappy Jean-Claude Van Damme sci-fi film, Cyborg.
Say what now?
Thank you for sticking around this far. I appreciate the support. There's just too much content out there, and you somehow found your way to this jackass, so I appreciate you. As I asked earlier, what are some movies you think are so bad they're good? Hell, even great. Have you seen any of these films by chance? What do you think? Again, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. As always, the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone. But what do I know? I'm but a mere jackass. I'll try to do better next time. Catch you later, friends.